When Dr. B.R. Ambedkar drafted the Constitution of India, he had the vision of a modern and progressive India, a nation that would write its future and assert its position in the world, yet resort to the humility of its wisdom at every frontier. Embarking on this very journey, ONGC has been the bearer of the flame of progress since its very inception. But if ONGC empowers the nation, one truly wonders who, or rather what, powers ONGC. The answer lies in the humble beginnings of the Dr. B.R. Ambedkar Regional Geoscience Laboratories, rightly named after the man who paved the path of progress for modern India. With the first discovery of hydrocarbons by ONGC in Lunej near Cambay in September 1958, followed by another in Ankleshwar in 1960, a small chemical laboratory was established in 1962, named as RCL. However, progressively this laboratory developed into the full-fledged Regional Geoscience Laboratories, RGL.
RGL provides analytical and R&D backup to the basin in the field of petrophysical, geochemical, lithostratigraphic and biostratigraphic studies. Also, it extends support to the associated assets in solving the field-related problems. The results of these vital studies immensely benefit basins and assets in finding more hydrocarbons. The RGL has a very strong team of dedicated and enthusiastic geoscientists.
RGL caters to a wide variety of technical expertise in generating and interpreting geological and geochemical data for exploration and exploitation of hydrocarbons. Apart from being the heart of exploration, the other functions include RGL acting as a strong base for optimizing inputs vital in economizing the exploratory and production efforts, formulation of cement slurry designs, and chemical formulations to ensure smooth drilling and operation jobs, solutions for production problems related to well productivity and improved recovery. Since every moment spent in taking major decisions over exploratory activities is vital, the RGL also doubles up as the QLS or Quick Laboratory Services provider for prompt and accurate decision making.
Dr. B.R. Ambedkar Regional Geoscience Laboratories has 9 chemistry laboratories and 4 geological laboratories. The concept of regional geoscience laboratories in ONGC is to provide the support services to the assets and basins. As per policy of the ONGC, we have 6 regional geoscience laboratories, and with every basin there is 1 regional geoscience laboratories. So we do the R&D in our laboratories and provide them the appropriate solutions.
The intricacies of explorations are not just dependent on the brilliance of the minds and the sheer density of the function it involves. It also involves a great deal of equipment which reduces several complexities through the wonders of modern-day technology for geology and supporting sciences.
Geology laboratory provides vital evidence to all the exploratory activities being carried out in Cambay Basin and in Rajasthan Basin. The laboratory is equipped with state-of-art equipments and have specialists in number of subjects who together provide the depositional model, biostratigraphic inputs and source rock parameters to the samples which are being collected from the exploratory areas.
The Sedimentology Laboratory is the first laboratory where the subsurface geological samples are received in the form of cuttings, conventional cores and sidewall cores. Various types of studies are performed here for understanding the basic nature of the rock, its mineralogy and other parameters, which help in deciphering the reservoir attributes and depositional environment. The laboratory has state-of-the-art equipment like petrological and binocular microscopes and X-ray diffractometer. The various processes of deposition of the rock, ranging from fluvial to deltaic to marine and finally deep water, are interpreted here, which help in making a process-based depositional model of the area for petroleum exploration. The paleontology laboratory is engaged in dating the fossilized remains of mostly marine microfauna preserved in sedimentary succession. The microfauna thrive in water depth ranging from coastal to deep marine of more than 200 meters and are identified on the basis of their standard morphology using stereozoom microscopes and are assigned a geological age. The sedimentary beds in which these fauna are found are then dated accordingly for establishing laterally correlation of beds. The main outcome of the study is to interpret the paleodepositional environment, identification of unconformity, and provide time marker beds for regional seismic correlation. The Palynology Laboratory analyzes the sedimentary successions on the basis of dating of embedded microplant remains like spore pollen, dinoflagellates, acritarch, silicoflagellate, etc. using modern biological microscopes and helps in building up of a stratigraphic succession and establish biostratigraphy. The main aim of the studies is to build up a chronostratigraphy of the area, demarcate break in sedimentation, and finally envisage paleoecology of the area. Geological Museum is a collection of selected fossil remains of a geological past, ranging in age from more than 65 million years to 10 million years. The rare large ammonites, signifying specific time markers in Mesozoic, along with well-preserved shells in limestone from Kutch Basin, are displayed here. There is a future plan of having more displays depicting all the aspects of exploration of hydrocarbon, both in the form of samples, charts, and audio visuals. The fundamental requirement of any geological laboratory investigation is availability of samples. In hydrocarbon exploration, the samples are normally collected in the form of ditch samples as small cuttings, conventional cores having 4-inch diameter, and finally sidewall cores of 1-inch diameter and 2 to 3 inches length. All the samples are priceless and irreplaceable and preserved for both current and future requirements. The core library preserves these samples in the most scientifically approved manner and has an exhaustive database for convenient retrieving. The core library at RGL Vadodara preserves samples from about 400 exploratory wells and has a plan to build a library for the entire western onshore basin.
The chemical laboratories generate adequate and meaningful inputs for exploration and development of oil and gas prospects in the western onshore basin. It also provides quick lab services for faster decision making, quality assurance services for procurement of oil field chemicals.
Geochemistry is all about striking a fine balance between the unknown elements to lead up to a known consequence. It gives the location of the kitchen where hydrocarbons were generated, the timing of generation and expulsion in comparison to trap formation, which significantly increases the chances of success in petroleum exploration. The subsurface samples are subjected to rock eval analysis that evaluates source potential of the rock. It is also useful for delineation of the hydrocarbon-bearing reservoir intervals in low resistivity sands, thin reservoirs within shales, and fractured shales, where routine logging runs are commonly inconclusive. Biological precursors and environment of deposition is studied using gas chromatograph and gas chromatograph mass spectrometer for correlating oils and source rocks. The study provides an important input for identifying new exploration locales. The Geochemical Surface Prospecting and Gas Laboratory conducts an extensive surface geochemical prospecting through microseep survey in PEL and NELP areas. The study helps in high grading of structures and also for prioritizing the exploratory efforts, leading to reducing the risk involved in hydrocarbon exploration. Compositional analysis of well gases, gases from installations and other sources, to assess presence or absence of hydrocarbons, to evaluate calorific values for billing purpose, etc. Apart from the analysis of natural gases from exploratory development, the CBM wells, it also delves out into a detailed analysis of gases obtained from PVT. Accreditation of hydrocarbon reserves is the basic objective of every exploration program. Petrophysical Studies Laboratory evaluates and characterizes reservoir rocks for their storing and flowing capacities and determines the extremely vital parameters such as porosity, permeability, capillary pressure versus fluid saturations, pore size distribution, electrical properties like A, M and N values. These parameters are used for assessment of reservoir performance, hydrocarbon reserves estimation, mapping of flow units, validation and calibration of log data. The laboratory carries out detailed estimation of varied data such as reservoir oil density, gas solubility, reservoir oil viscosity, thermal expansion, flash and solution GOR, and shrinkage factor. Crude oil is the major product of E&P industry. This laboratory carries out exclusive studies on crude oil for their gross composition. Rheology is a science of flow and deformation of materials. Rheological properties of crude oil are fundamental for crude oil pipeline design and operation. This laboratory carries out the flow assurance studies on waxy, asphaltic and heavy crude oils and designs chemical formulations for improving the flow behavior of crude oil through the flow lines and well bore. Understanding the genetic type and flow behavior of the crude oil relies heavily on the molecular composition of the saturated and wax portion of the crude oil. The sophisticated instruments in this laboratory analyze the saturate and wax portions of the crude oil for their molecular level fingerprinting. This equipment is instrumental in measuring the organic chloride contaminations and plays a vital role in monitoring the quality of additives that lead to organic chloride formations in the crude oil. Flash point is a very important parameter for all flammable materials like crude oil and petroleum products. This laboratory carries out studies on formation waters from exploratory wells for geochemical characterization. Studies on chemical treatment design to meet the water quality requirement for injection into the wells for water flooding and pressure maintenance are also carried out. Analysis of liquid waste or solid waste, including trace metal analysis for effective environment management and studies on bacteriological activities in surface and subsurface production systems. The laboratory also provides remedial measures to various field problems in the areas of corrosion and scaling in surface and subsurface water or oil or gas pipelines through R&D project studies. Quality evaluation and assurance of oil field chemicals, reviewing and framing of specifications for water treatment specialty chemicals are also performed at the laboratory. The Well Stimulation Laboratory designs, evaluates, optimizes and field implements chemical formulations to enhance the productivity of wells. Recently, this laboratory has formulated a mud cake cleanup pill for removing mud cake from the face of horizontal section of horizontal and multilateral wells. This formulation has been field implemented in Mumbai High, and the post-job analysis showed significant improvement in the productivity. Well cementation is a very important operation during drilling and completion of oil wells, and therefore the cement slurry design for various types of cementation jobs is vital for successful completion of the well. This laboratory designs and evaluates the cement slurries for all kinds of cementation jobs for wells being drilled in the western onshore basin. The laboratory also performs a very important function of quality assurance of oil well cement and cement additives being procured by different assets of western onshore. ONGC operations in the field require more than 300 different types of specialty oil field chemicals in bulk quantity. Each one of these specialty chemicals has well-defined specifications for their procurement. This laboratory evaluates and carries out quality assurance of these chemicals against the ONGC specifications for their procurement for field operations. Crush resistance test equipment. This equipment measures the crush resistance strength of different types of proppant sands used for hydrofracturing of formation at different pressures under controlled conditions. Strictly abiding by the environmental concerns, the RGL analyzes and provides support to installations for pollution and environment management, combating and dealing with the problems of corrosion, scaling and biofouling.
Quality, health, safety and environment management has always been an integral part of the RGL's activity. We have established, implemented and maintained QHSE management system as per the international standards ISO 9001, 14001 and OSHA's 18001 and have consistently remained QHSE compliant ever since it was certified in March 2005.
RGL has established, implemented and maintained quality, health, safety and environment management systems as per international standards ISO 9001, ISO 14001 and OHSAS 18001 and has consistently remained compliant to these standards since 2005. ONGC has made conscious efforts to only have the best of scientific minds of India, competent technicians and extremely adept managers working in a harmonious environment called RGL Vadodara. With an enviable tally of more than 150 successfully executed technical and R&D projects in the last 5 to 6 years, and an analysis on a colossal scale nearing 80,000 samples under these projects. These are few of the many milestones that RGL has achieved. RGL has also represented ONGC on the national and international forums through a staggering number, 78 in the past 6 to 7 years, of research papers presented in the various seminars and symposiums across the globe. RGL has received several awards and accolades in its journey for excellence. RGL is providing regular faculty support to the students from MS University Vadodara, Wadia College Pune and Punjab University Chandigarh. The summer training to BTech students from NITs, IITs and other institutes. Team RGL comes together to script a new beginning, keeps together for steady progress and works together towards the biggest successes. One can realize that Team RGL is set to conquer the greatest heights by scaling each and every bit of the ground. Staying true to the legend of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar.